It's a gentleman Grachowski show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a gentleman Grachowski show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a gentleman Grachowski show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a gentleman Grachowski show.
TVHams.com is the official website of the Gentleman Grachowski Show. You can also check us out on Facebook and on YouTube. And right now, I'm excited to say we have the Chicago Rovers in the studio. We have Mick Archer, Troy Neihart, and Edgar Gabriel. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Now, Mick, you stopped by before. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's great to be back here, Larry.
Tell us about the gentleman you brought with us, the Chicago Rovers.
The Chicago Rovers started in 1998, and I had just gotten back from Ireland. Troy and I, we were on the international piano bar circuit, so we were doing that. And I just fell in love with Irish traditional music when I was over there. And then that was in the 90s when Irish music was just exploding. It was huge. Everything was just coming up Irish. So I decided to put together a band, and I had many different players in it, but it never occurred to me to ask him on accordion. Edgar I knew from doing orchestra work. In fact, we met on the road in Kansas City doing an orchestra gig. And then I just, through the course of time, I had a house gig at Emmett's Pub over in Chicago on Halstead, and I was using various players, and I ended up with these guys, and there was just some kind of magic. It just really, it really clicked. And we've been doing this with this particular lineup for about 15 years. And I'm real proud to be with these guys. These are two of the best musicians in Chicago.
Oh, excellent, yeah. And what do you guys have to say about that, huh? You guys are the best.
We pay him to say that.
Yeah, is that how it is?
Nice work, thanks.
It's tax deductible. Yeah.
Now, Troy, you've played all over the world.
Well, there's a few places I haven't met yet.
Is that on the short list to go into?
That's the short list, yeah absolutely.
And tell us about where you've played.
Well, yeah, I was in Europe for several years, Singapore, around and about. One of the things that I'm looking forward to is domestically going down to New Orleans after we get done with the St. Patty's thing, going down for the first annual piano convention.
Piano convention?
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting, huh?
A lot of fun.
He's actually covering it for Chicago Jazz Magazine.
Oh, very good. Yeah. That's got to be exciting. Now, you is going as a reporter, right? You go as you're covering. You be a reporter, right?
Just to rub shoulders with friends and colleagues and such, and then as Mick said, covering it for Chicago Jazz Magazine.
Do you handle it differently as going there reporting or covering it?
Well, I'm not going there necessarily to play. I'm going there to hobnob with friends and colleagues and such, and just kind of collect stories and pass them on to Mick and let him edit out the things that he can't
I'm an editor at
print.
Chicago Jazz Magazine.
Okay.
So I asked Troy, since he's going, to represent us and send back a story.
And that's got to just be exciting just to go and just...
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's so much talent in New Orleans. It's just amazing. I mean, you can find music and you can find a good time 24 hours a day there.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
Now, you said you played in Europe, right?
Yeah.
How is the culture different there as far as treating a musician or how musicians are treated opposed to the States?
Well, it's interesting. There's still a respect for what I would describe as moderately successful or a moderate level of musician. And what I mean is, if you're not Taylor Swift here,
That's so true.
then you're not, unless you're selling mega units, you're not really regarded or respected as a musician. And in America, it seems like people equate celebrity with talent. And in Europe, people really respect artists of all types, and there's a support for that substructure.
Okay. Anywhere in particular in the world you've played that you really enjoyed and want to maybe go back there and play again?
Singapore.
Okay. What did you like about it?
Well, it was the best of East meets West. Very Asian, but they spoke English, was their national language, so you could feel like you were walking around China without getting lost. If you got lost, you can ask for directions.
Okay. Now, Edgar, how are you, sir?
Very good, thank you.
You've mentioned earlier you teach music.
I teach and I play music. It's that's all I know how to do. So I teach it right here. We're in Elmhurst. I teach at Elmhurst College. I also teach at Harper College, and I teach everything from classical violin to jazz and rock and blues. And we got wonderful electric string group going on, and and I play.
He has a fantastic group, String Fusion.
Okay.
And he's much too modest. He's done session work with some very famous people.
Oh, okay. You care to name drop?
Well, I used to work with Cirque du Soleil.
Okay.
And I worked in Vegas and also on the road with them. That was really cool. Next week I'm going to go to the ASTA convention. It's conference. It's American String Teachers organization, and it's a wonderful place because all these I think all good musicians teach. You know, you've got to pass on what you do, and so the most greatest string players are there. For instance, I'm sure I'll see Mark O'Connor there. My good friend Rachel Barton, we made a CD back in the 1998. Wow, I think we played of all heavy metal music.
Oh, okay.
With 2 violins and a cello. And
It's very cool stuff.
and what I love about playing with the Rovers is that even though we are rooted in the traditions of Irish music, we also we push it. And my main thing is also improvisation, and Mick lets me stretch out in improv. There are some Irish groups that they play it all textbook.
It's not a part of the tradition. We really go far out of the tradition.
Okay.
And with improv, I think you start creating new stuff, and that's one thing that I feel in today's music that improv is lost. There's no guitar solos. That's my favorite thing of rock bands.
That was very. I always enjoyed going to a concert because there'd be that solo. That'd be
right.
Yeah.
Right, and it would probably be different. I mean, what would Led Zeppelin be without Jimmy Page? And we don't have that now. And the guitar player was just as well known as the singer. And if he or she was gone, then that band had to break up or something.
Right.
So.
And you mentioned you teach musical improv.
Yes.
Could you explain to us exactly what that is?
Well,
besides the obvious, what is it?
Well, my definition of improv is spontaneous composition.
Okay.
So you are making up music as you go. Similar to a comedy improv or something. We are making this up now. You probably want to stay to some kind of structure, and there's different styles. Now, back in the day, Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, they were all master improvisers, and look what they did. They created all this great music.
Right.
There are no master classical improv people anymore, and that's what I'm teaching next week, actually.
Okay.
But you can improv in all different styles, just like in Irish style, and we're going to do some of that, some little improv in
We're
the
not
Irish
supposed
styles.
to, but we do.
Well, it gets frowned upon by some. There's some
We're
traditionalists that
heretics.
will they just frown upon that, but. I just feel that we need to push the boundaries,
Right.
and so in all music, and so it's, and of course jazz is the one place where it's left, is improv. So it's making music, it's spontaneous composition, and the really great stuff, you write it down.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, the funny thing in following up what Edgar's saying is the improvisational element of music is what has created each and every style of music. But once it becomes a tradition, it's almost like it's chiseled in stone, like it's of the Bible, and you're not supposed to variate from it. But he's talking about Bach and Mozart and Beethoven. Beethoven rocked into town. He's just improvising, and that's how he got people's attention, and that's how he got a contract for composing, and publishing and such. And it's the lost art of improv, and it's guys like Edgar that keep that going. That's one of the most important aspects of the furthering of music today.
And one of the things here at Elmhurst College, I don't know if you know this, but it is one of the best jazz schools in the world. And when they asked me to teach here, I was really excited because I go, now I'm going to be able to do this at one of the greatest. They already have great, Mark Colby on saxophone and all these wonderful jazz improvisation people on other instruments, but they didn't have strings, and so it's just a joy to teach there as well.
Oh, very good. Now, I actually had the luxury, and I want to thank you, Mick, invited me to sit in on his one of his classes at the Old Town School of Music.
But that was a completely different thing. That was Piano Bar
Right.
101. I have to tell you, when I came back from Ireland in 1995, I immediately went to the Old Town School and said, you got to teach me how to play this stuff. And at the time, there was a famous band called the Drovers. Anybody remember the Drovers? Mike Kirkpatrick taught me how to play that style, which is dadgad. It's tuned into a desuspended chord. It's a completely different. It was learning guitar all over again. So I got to really thank the school for giving me that opportunity. And I do teach there, but what I teach is not this. We're doing some colleges and festivals this year, And you know, that's what I learned. And that's what we're a part of that community.
Okay.
But it's not the Rovers. I'm not teaching
Right,
that. I'm
right.
teaching piano bar.
But I had the luxury of sitting in on your class, and I just want
That's
to let you
fun.
know that he's a great piano player. That's all. He's a great piano
Not
player.
as good as this guy.
Oh, well.
That's why I play guitar in this band.
Okay. For more information
More
on
money
the
to you.
Chicago Rovers, how could they contact you or check out your site?
You could Google search us. We have a Facebook page. You can. There's a lot of YouTube up there, and you can contact me. I'm a public figure. You go to my website, mickarcher.com. These guys each have their own websites. A couple corporate parties. We've done some. You know, we've worked for Google and like we go into companies and we give them their little blast of Irish music once a year. But you know, we'd like to be able to do this all year round because we love this music.
Great, and we'll get a sample of you guys right now. Sound good?
Super.
All right, great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah! Woo! TVHams.com is the official website of the Gentleman Grachowski Show. You can also go to Facebook and YouTube. Check out YouTube for past videos. You can go to Facebook and just see what's going on our fan page. And then the main hub of them all, TVHams.com. We happen to have a comedian, a actor, an improvisalist. Improviser. I don't want to. What's wrong with an improvisalist?
Improvisalist means that I went to a Catholic improv school.
Yeah.
So I didn't. So I went to public improv school, so I'm an improviser.
Improviser, but okay. I like how that sounds. He's an improvisalist. Even though I don't even know that
The church will get upset.
That will get rid.
They will come after me.
Okay, a couple 10 Hail Marys, I guess.
That's
like
right.
that. Josh Blair, how are you, Josh? Welcome to broadcast.
I'm excited. I have like cameras all over. I
Yeah,
get to
look at
talk
it.
about myself. I get to look at myself. This is my type of evening. I
You
just
live
need-
in the dream now.
I'm living the dream right
Living
now.
the dream. I got you. So, well, anyway, so you started off with improv, right?
Yes.
Tell us about for people that people at home, improv and an improvalist. We already discovered what an improvalist is, but let's tell us people really what improv is. What is the art of improv?
The art of improv is a form of theater and acting, and I know I'm butchering this definition, but it's the idea of self-creation, creating live on stage. So where you can go see Romeo and Juliet or a modern play like Book of Mormon, and there's a script, there's music, there's this and that. Improv can be anything. It's what you're creating. It's taking one idea and just shooting off in different directions.
Could you imagine Romeo and Juliet improv? It'd be different every night. It'd be
Why
a
don't-
different ending, right?
Why don't we find out right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that would be perfect for
Yes.
to keep people coming back because you don't know how it's going to end tonight.
Exactly.
It's going to end differently.
So
How's it
if-
going to end?
Right. So if I'm like, Romeo, what's going on?
Oh, I'm doing good. How you doing, girl?
See? Juliet dumps Romeo because Juliet don't play that.
Why?
It's like, girl, it's
Well,
just you
you
know
know,
her name.
Well, come
She's
on.
a Capulet.
I know, but he's a dog. Come on. I think that's how it would be. I don't know. Something would be interesting. So anyway, there's a lot more to this man, believe it or not, than meets the eye. He actually has a college degree. Went to DePaul.
DePaul, Chicago.
He's a blue demon.
Yes, just about anything you can do in Chicago, I've done it. I've eaten hot dogs. I've gone to DePaul. I went to Chicago Public Schools, and now I'm doing comedy.
There you go.
In the mecca of comedy, Chicago.
I tell you what, Chicago has its roots in comedy.
Yes.
Has some roots for.
Exactly.
I guess it was Second City, Players Workshop, and everything from back in the day.
Absolutely, going back to the 50s.
And you are also a graduate of Second City
Yes.
and the conservatory.
Yes, I graduated the Second City Conservatory this past May 2015, almost been a year.
Yeah.
It was a dream of mine to go there and go into the conservatory program because you have to audition for it. You have to kind of earn your spot there.
Okay.
So I made it. They
First
didn't
time? Second time?
third time.
Oh, okay.
But you have to audition to stay in there, and they didn't kick me out. So that to me is the bigger accomplishment. And I finished the program, and I got my little piece of paper with my name that says, "I know what I'm doing," sort of.
A bunch of paranoid people walking around there, like, they're going to kick me out. They're going to kick me out,
Oh yeah.
You think that or no?
There were days,
Yeah.
I think that's with any actor. There's a level of insecurity with anything because like with acting and improv, it's never solid. It's you go from gig to gig. You're independent. You're freelance. So there's always that moment of like, how long is this gravy train gonna go? How long am I gonna keep doing this? Am I gonna go any further? Is it gonna get worse? So there's always that slight insecurity. I think with every actor, it's how you manage it that makes the difference.
Now, in addition to being an actor and dealing with improv, you also have a podcast.
Yes, I am the producer and one of the wonderful co-hosts of Smeared Ink, an improvised podcast. And it's Smeared Ink INC instead of INK because, as you know, with improv, you need to have like a punny name.
Right, okay, I gotcha.
So I host that with two of my best friends, Kate and Sean, who we've been on the show with you guys before, but they couldn't be here because they don't like you.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
I thought it was like somebody got a new jacket.
I said...
You told them about the new jacket was
and they're
coming
like,
out, right?
yeah. I said, look at how he looks, and they're like, I can't be next to Mr. Prima Donna. That was Sean's words.
I only did that once. I only did that once. Okay.
If you think that's rude, tweet at @SPatrickConroy.
Okay.
Send your hate mail there. But yeah, we've been hosting that show going on 2 years.
Okay.
We just hit a milestone 50th episode last month where we did our first live show at the Champaign-Urbana Improv Festival. That was in November.
Road trip,
absolutely. Hotels.
Yeah.
The days in, exciting.
You lived it up. Did you trash it like a rock star?
Oh, we left it clean and folded our clothes.
What is that all about?
We're nice people. We're good Midwestern people. But yeah, we've been doing the podcast for years. Had a lot of interesting guests, and you get the opportunity to do this comedy show where you're sitting around with your friends for like an hour, working with people you love, and people you put it out there, and people listen to it, and they tell you they like it.
Oh, is it hard to be an audio improviser? I got it right. An improviser, an audio improviser, or is it because you improvise? You're on stage, right?
Right.
You got gifts. You got you're moving things. You got
yes.
stuff going on. With which is a podcast, which is your ear. How do you just improvise with that?
I think it goes back to like listening to radio shows and things of that nature. You think of like the language you're using. You use more descriptive language when you're on audio because occasionally, and those who go back and listen to our show will notice early on in the episodes, we at times were like reminding each other this is an audio show because we're like, so there I was and I hit this thing as I was driving down the road and it was like this. And see, we're here, and we're like, it's like that. But I'm like, it's like this. And listeners are like what?
Oh, so you have to be more descriptive.
Right. So it's a muscle in a way. Like the same way it's like you adjust for different audiences. The way you do a show for a church group or senior citizens is different. How you do a show on the north side at 11 o'clock at night. You just kind of adjust for your audience. And with audio shows, it's just another category.
Okay. Now, when you did the live show, was it the 50th episode you said?
Yes.
How was it different from doing it in the regular studio where you regularly recorded at?
Well, we were wearing pants for one.
Oh, okay.
So that's the first thing. No, we were all dressed nice. We had a nice crowd. The Champaign Urbana Improv Festival was put on by their improv theater, Zoo Improv. And what was kind of different was where we're sitting around a table talking, goofing around. We did a little bit of that, but what we did to kind of mix it up is we did a short-form improv show, the type of show we would do if we were just there to perform and to act. But we leaned on games that have the benefit of you could listen to them without seeing a video.
Okay.
So like short form improv games, like the improv game New Choice, where you have a bell and I can ring a bell and one of the actors has to take back what they said and put in something new. So like for a radio show, it's like,
Perfect.
oh, okay, exactly.
Because it's just audio. You
Yeah,
can hear that.
exactly. More of a game aspect to the scenes.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And you also, you said you work with Covered Bridge Productions.
Yes, I am an assistant director there now. I was an actor there for like the last 3 years, and I still am, as needed. They're a theater group in Tinley Park, Illinois. They have their own improv team, and I was an improviser with them, still am, and have had the opportunity to assistant direct their last few reviews. So it's kind of like fun to be able to kind of direct and teach now.
What is different between being a director of an improv show opposed to being in the improv show?
I think the biggest thing, and you can tell with like your teachers and your directors, whether you're on that side or as the actor, is you have to understand as an improviser, the answer I might have in my head for where a scene should go isn't always the best answer. So where it's like, we'll try this scene and there's the situation. I might see one of my actors do something entirely different than I would have thought of. I'm like, that's pretty good. Or if I'm like, what if you did this? Or this is where you shut your partner off. There's the critiquing aspect is hard because you have to get out of the mindset of this is what Josh thought would have been funnier versus this is just how you would better stage something. Because those are two different things.
Okay. Malnikoff
Yes.
and Blair.
Yeah, Malnikoff and Blair is my two-person improv team, and I guess production team now because we actually have our first show coming up in May.
Okay.
We've been performing together for about a year and a half now as a duo for about a year. Did various shows at the Second City Training Center, IO, Underground Lounge, and continue to do so. We write sketches and do improv, and we kind of started writing a show, pitched it to the Second City Training Center, and got picked up for their DeMont Theater in May.
Oh, excellent. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Excited about it?
It's exciting and it's nerve-wracking because this is the first project for the both of us really where it's like we're in complete control, 99% without a net. Like, we put shows together in school and, you always have a teacher, you always have the school helping you out, the training center. I've been an assistant director, and it's like I was assistant director, I wasn't running the whole thing, and then you're an improviser actor, you just have to worry about what you're bringing to the table. Here it's like you have to worry about marketing, you have to worry about what's going to get people to come to your show, because it's like I can have a really funny show, and I'm not saying to be overconfident, I'm just saying theoretically I can have a great show.
Right.
I got to get butts in those seats, though, because if I have a great show and no one's there to see it, that's the thing.
All right. Believe me,
Second
just-
sit. No.
Well, it's just like
Yeah.
doing anything. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta have an audience.
Exactly.
You gotta get the audience. And
Exactly.
if there's no audience, you could be the best
Yeah.
at it, and no one's there. No one knows about it.
Right, and then the other part being, once you have an audience, that audience has to come back the next
Right.
week.
And rave about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
or at least get their friends to come.
Yeah. Now you do work for a nonprofit workshop.
This is actually, I just started working with them, Room to Improv, roomtoimprov.com, because I'm not going to do justice in my description. I've literally been with them a couple weeks. It's a non-for-profit that is bringing like improv to the masses. They work with like a lot of clients in the Midwestern area, Illinois area primarily, I'd say, and it's about bringing the art of improv to corners of the world that don't have it, because besides the fun of being an improviser, an actor, and a comedian, stuff that it's like think of people that never think about performing, never think about doing their own show. What's the benefit of improv? It's the team building, it's the building confidence. I actually got into improv to build my confidence because I was like a quiet, introverted, this type of person.
So you was shy.
I was a very shy person.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I was one of those guys. It's like if I could avoid having conversation, that's exactly what I would do.
Okay.
And someone suggested to me for one of the many benefits, take an improv class. You'll meet some new people, make some new friends, and I've made a lot of great new friends, people that I consider family. And made me come out of my shell. And I think for a lot of people, it does. Even if they are outroverted people, even, you know, at the most, they get something out of it. They grow as a person.
Okay, so a couple of years ago, if I would have put you in that green room with that cast of characters in there, you would have been like just probably like scared to be in it now.
A couple years ago, it would have been good. 4 years ago, no, I'd be wandering around the hallway.
Yeah.
I'd be like, when do we get started? And why are you interviewing me? Because I'm not an interesting person.
And then who are these people?
Yeah,
right?
who are these people? Yeah.
Okay, and one quick thing: sex ain't love.
So you've been spying on my IMDb.
I did a little bit, but you know what? I usually say that to the girls. It's sex ain't love, baby girl. I'm saving myself.
And now you know why Romeo didn't. That's why Romeo didn't get with Juliet.
Well, they kill each other, didn't they?
Now they do.
Right? What do they do in the play?
No, they kill each other.
They drank some potions or something, right?
Right.
It was a cocktail or what was it?
It's poison.
Poison. They wanted to die, or they both kill each other. I forgot how.
I think what was it? Juliet thought Romeo killed himself, or he was dead.
Right.
Or no, Juliet was faking her death. Romeo believed it, and it's like, oh, she's dead. I may as well off myself. And then Juliet wakes up and is like, oh,
no good.
Bad planning.
You like superheroes, huh?
Oh, I'm wearing a Daredevil T-shirt.
Yeah, well,
yes.
I saw some of your pictures.
Yes.
And you got a lot of comic book characters referenced in those pictures.
Yes, I am a comic book geek. That's probably been my longest passion. You know, going to cartoons and comic books. My dad was a big comic book reader, so it's like, here, read these. And you're like, oh, these are amazing.
Yeah.
So, you know, now you live in the generation where there's movies and everything, superheroes, TV shows. It's like a renaissance for geeks. Yeah. I'm excited.
So you've also made some appearances at Comic-Con.
Yes, I have been going to Comic-Con. I was trying to figure it out the other day. I think since I was about 12 or 13. I know at least from high school on.
Okay.
You know, at first spending your parents' money. You know, I need money to buy this book or this statue or this toy. Mm-hmm. And this is like a teenager talking. Yeah. And then, you know, you get to your 20s and you're like, now I'm spending my money.
Oh.
And then you're getting a little bit older and I'm like, I can't keep spending this money, but I'm not going to stop.
Now, yeah, Comic-Con, it sounds like a fun. I actually want to go there. It's the first time because I've seen people go there over the years and I've never been there. But I'm like, that's got to be fun, just dressing up as human beings. And I'm going to dress up as a human being, dress up as superheroes.
There you go.
And you dressed up as Captain America.
Yeah, I dressed up. I dressed up as Captain America last year. It was great because in Chicago it was a nice rainy day, so I used my expensive shield to block the rain.
You gotta be practical.
And it was fun because that was actually the same time the Chicago Improv Festival was going on. And I was stage managing at Second City, and I ended up having to do part of that night in my Captain America costume.
Oh, there you
so
go.
I'm running around telling people what to do, and it's like, why is this guy dressed up like Captain America?
Do what you want, because I want to. Because it's America, and I'm the captain, right?
Yeah, see?
Yeah, there you go. But I'm bunch. Okay, tell us about you got improv. You got Instagram and you got Twitter.
Yes, at that Josh Blair, at THAT Josh Blair. That's where you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. I have a couple Facebook pages, facebook.com/Melnikoff and Blair. And if you search Josh Blair, it'll come up. Same with our Smeared Ink page, which you can find on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever podcasts are given away. And that's a good place to get in touch with me, you know, find out the things that I'm working on. I also have a blog, overweighthero.blogger.com.
There you go.
Where I talk about dieting and things like that.
Everyone's got to diet. Even superheroes have to diet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watch their diet.
Absolutely.
And then tell us real quick about the sampler.
The sampler, so the SC Sampler is its name right now. It's SC referring to Second City. It's coming to the Second City Training Center in May.
The DeMont Theater.
The DeMont Theater.
Yes, you got to say it professional.
So it's going to be a professional run at the DeMont Theater this upcoming spring.
Yes.
Every Saturday at 7. Information will be on the Second City Training Center website and our Facebook page. It's a variety show, kind of in the style of The Tonight Show, where myself and my partner Sammy Melnikoff.
There you go.
Where it's a Tonight Show style thing where we have sketches we've written. We're going to feature guests that are doing other shows at the Second City Training Center, hence the sampler. And then we wrap it up with live music every week. And actually, Sammy, who is a professional musician, we're trying to coax her into doing one of those musical slots.
There you go. Excellent. All right, Josh, thanks for stopping by. Josh Blair. For more information about Josh, you can also go to TVHams.com, the official website of the Gentleman Grachowski Show, Facebook, and on YouTube.
It's a Gentleman Grachowski Show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a Gentleman Grachowski Show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a